When everything is white, glimmering silver white, and stillness fills the night.
Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel, and also happy first day of Bookmas. I cannot believe we're here. This is so exciting. Seriously, cannot believe we are finally here. This is so exciting. I have done so much planning and prep work, so I hope I'm able to deliver on it, and I also hope that it's everything you guys want, like, or able to enjoy, and that it's entertaining for you, because kind of the whole reason I'm doing it. So, as you guys know, we always start the first of the month with my reset. So today is going to be my December reset, but since it is the last month of the year, we've got quite a few things on our docket that we're going to accomplish today. But we are going to start it the same way that we started last month's. We're going to go through my mini bookshelf that is on my desk, take everything off, walk you guys through the stuff that's staying, stuff that's going, the whole nine. It's going to be very exciting. I'm personally very excited. Let's just dive in to what's on there, what's leaving, what's staying.
A winter wonderland, a snowball in each hand. Take me away, Christmas.
For the past month or so, I haven't had much of an order to it, which sounds ridiculous because that is exactly the time when I should have had an order to everything that I was doing, a method to the madness, if you will. But all that's really organized on there is that these are all of the books that I've read, which you guys will see in my October and November wrap up, which will be Bookmas Day 2. On the little section below that, I have 3 holiday books that I'm actually going to put back, but we are going to give some attention to these books later, so we'll talk about them then. On the top little shelf here, we have Magnolia Parks Into the Dark and Two Twisted Crowns, which are just kind of overflow of books that I want to read / I'm currently reading. And then this is possibly the most chaotic, and we have so much to talk about. I guess I will just start off by saying I am currently reading a lot of books, which I fear could be me teetering on a reading slump. I know. It's horrid, not the way that anyone wants to end the year, least of all me. But yeah, I'm currently reading a lot of books. I am currently reading Play Along, which is the last book in the Windy City series and probably will be my last read of November. I'm 155 pages into this, and while I love this series so much, and this has potential to be my second favorite book in the series because I'm liking it as much as I am, I just haven't been drawn to pick it up, which is like sign number 1 of being in a reading slump. It would be horrible if that were the case because I don't want to ruin this, but I also want to finish it by the end of the year. I'm in a tough spot there. This feels like a better situation. This is book number 1 that I'm currently reading. We'll put a counter right here of how many there actually are. Then I recently started The Intern by Michelle Campbell. I think this is the book in particular that is solely responsible for my anticipated reading slump. This is a legal thriller that I got from Book of the Month this year as an extra in my box. I'm 25% of the way through and I am not loving this. I'm not like thrilled by it. I told myself I would get to like the 50% mark before I decide whether or not I want to DNF it, but I really want to read all of my Book of the Month books. If I don't like this one, however, I will probably unhaul it, but it has really good reviews, so I'm just trying to stick it out right now. I just don't think that I love the audio narration, and that could be the issue, but I'm not fully sure. This is book number 2. Book number 3 is none other than Magnolia Parks Into the Dark. I am still 181 pages into this. I haven't picked it up the entire month of November. She needs to be done by the end of the year. I also recently started Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the sequel and finale in the Shepherd King duology, the first book being One Dark Window. I read that in the month of November. I am like 2 pages into this, so I've barely started it, but I have started it. And then on my Kindle, because I couldn't decide what I wanted to read and I didn't want to read Play Along, don't ask me why, I started the Pumpkin Spice Cafe because I wanted to finish it while it was still technically fall. Don't think that's gonna happen anymore. A gut feeling I have, and I didn't get very far into that one either because I wasn't loving it. But I also just think that that could be my reading slump. We'll see. Not fully giving up on her yet. And then the other one I recently started the audiobook for, but I am like 10 minutes in, so we're not even gonna bring her up. But that brings our total to 6 books that I'm in the middle of, which is definitely reading slump territory for me. Because I feel like 4 and under is not a reading slump. 6, reading slump. At least the verge of it. Nothing is just like hitting. Unfortunately, it's the worst thing ever. That's what I'm currently reading. The other books that were on this shelf that I potentially wanted to read throughout the month of November but did not get to. Immortal Dark by Tigest Gurma, which I've heard is a vampire dark academia story. It sounds very interesting, very gothic, very good. Really excited to read this one though. Don't know if it's realistically going to happen this year because I don't want to rush my time with it, so it might be like a January-February read, but either way, I'm stoked about reading this. Then I have these 2 poetry books, which you guys have seen so many times, Climate by Whitney Hansen and Save Me an Orange by Haley Grace. Didn't pick these up at all. I don't want to talk about it. Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I still very much want to read this one. I just didn't have the time in the month of November because I was reading so many other things, so I'm not fully sure when I'll get to this one, but it is one that I want to read within the next 2 months. Half a Soul by Olivia Atwater. I don't know where this lands. It's one that I want to read so badly, but I'm also in the middle of so many series and I keep thinking to myself, if I can just finish those series, then I can start another one. But I have so many series that I need to finish and I feel bad about starting another one without, I feel like I need to finish 2 Twisted Crowns before starting this. But I want to read this one so bad. Maddie from Madison Kate said it kind of gives like Alice in Wonderland vibes with the way that they talk and how whimsical it is, but they take that so seriously. And that is one of my favorite things ever. I love Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. This also might be in the same category as Immortal Dark. Not in vibe, but in time of reading. And lastly is one that's going on my December TBR because I made you guys a promise and I'm going to uphold my end of the bargain even if it is a little bit delayed. I'm delayed in every aspect of my life, I promise you. Butcher and Blackbird by Brain Weaver. I will read it. I promise. It'll get done this month. It's on my radar. It'll get done. Now that we've cleared off my mini bookshelf, it's time for a little arts and crafts. We're really excited about. For our little craft, I wanted to do something with my TBR jar, but I also knew that I wanted to do my 10 till the end, so picking prompts out of this would not have been conducive to picking out my own 10 till the end. So what I came up with was, in a future bookmas video, I intend to read some of the holiday romances that have been on my shelf, but I'm gonna have a hard time picking which ones I want to read. So we are going to put all the titles of the holiday books that I have in here, and through the course of that video, I'll choose from this. It will be a video that you see sometime during bookmas. I don't know exactly when. I'm very excited for it, but we need to make all of the little tabs to go in here, so I figured that could be fun to do during this. I took a picture of all of those books that I just showed you so that I have them on my phone. I'm gonna use white sticky notes and use the inside to fold them over because the other ones that I made are really small and they stick together, so I'm hoping we'll have less sticking together in there, and this will also make it look more full. I also ordered my book of the month box, which will be here, and I have a couple holiday themed books in there, so I'm gonna add those to here as well because when I film that video, those are contenders.
Christmas lights are all around. I can see them now. It's like they spell your name. It's insane. Now we're back here once again. Holidays.
Okay, now that that is all done, I don't think we're gonna do too much with my TBR cart because in January we're gonna do a full reset, which I'm very much looking forward to. I think it is time for me to move on to my reading plans for the month of December. Last TBR of the year. Alright, so here we go. Last TBR of the year. Not really sure how I feel about it. Before we get into it, I'm sure I will say this in another bookmas video, but I really just wanted to take a second and thank you guys for such a wonderful year here on BookTube. For me, this was a year of rediscovering my consistency. It was also a year of challenges for sure. I was able to rediscover my love for reading, my love for editing, my love for filming, and I think a large part of that comes from you guys encouraging me, talking with me about books. Any and all engagement that you gave me this year seriously means the world to me, because anytime you watch a video, like, comment, subscribe, any of that, it just shows me that there are also people who love the same things that I do, and of course there are other booktubers that show me the same thing, but I just appreciate everything that you guys have given to me, everything. I appreciate it so much. I appreciate your presence here. It means truly so much to me, and I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate you all. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. If this upcoming month is a difficult month for you, then I hope I'm able to provide some entertainment or escapism that you might need, and if there's anything I can do, don't hesitate to reach out. This is a season about love, giving, cherishing those that are around you, and sometimes we get caught up in the materialistic side of that, which I am guilty. I like stuff, but there is also so much more. With that sappy moment past us, we are going to get into my 10 till the end. I thought that that would be a fun twist on a TBR this month. Am I realistically going to get to all of these books? I really hope so, because they're all books that I want to get to. Realistically, I'm not sure, because 10 is a lot. Some of these are really big books. These are all the ones that I am prioritizing through the month of December, so we'll see where it takes us, because there are other books that I need to read for videos and things like that too. But if I could read 10 books in December, I would be pretty pleased with myself. The first one is Make the Season Bright by Ashley Herring Blake. I chose this one because I'm doing a holiday reading vlog, as I already mentioned to you guys. I have been anticipating reading this one for such a long time, and I think that even if I don't draw this out of that little TBR jar that we just made together, I will end up reading this because I have to. It's Ashley Herring Blake, and I have discovered my love for her and her sapphic series this year. So this is a sapphic Christmas novel that she published. I don't remember tons about this one, but I do remember reading the synopsis and loving it. Next one should be so obvious to you guys. That is none other than Magnolia Park's Into the Dark. This is a tall order given how thick it is. Maybe thick order is a better way of saying that. But this is the last book in the Magnolia Parks series. I want to complete it this year. I started it last year and only got 1.5 books through, so if I could finish it off this year, that would just feel so complete. Not that I want the series to be over, but I do want to see the happily ever after that they get. Very excited, very nervous and apprehensive, but also excited to finish the series. Next, I kind of mentioned this one. I really want to finish more series, which Magnolia Park's Into the Dark would do for me, but so will Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. I read One Dark Window last month, and I want to read this while everything is still very fresh in my mind. This is a tarot card inspired fantasy where we are following Elspeth, who has this illness that has taken over her kingdom. Some people get it, it's all very random, but once you get it, you have a magical power. If that is discovered, the king sends his destroyers, which is like a hand-selected group that will basically come and execute you. There is also this mist that has taken over this kingdom, and the cards, once all 12 have been collected, as well as a couple of other things happen, it will eradicate the mist as well as this illness. So Elspeth is on the hunt for all of these cards with another group of people. Looking for the cards is treasonous though, so they have to be very careful. It's a very gothic, dark fantasy. Dark as in like gloomy, not necessarily the content. Very excited to complete it. This one is definitely a bit thicker than the first one, but everyone says that they prefer this one to One Dark Window, so excited that this one is the stronger of the two. I think this is the last series that I have that would be completed in this stack, and that is Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. One of my coworkers told me that I needed to read this, and then my best friend is currently reading it and finishing it up, and Onyx Storm comes out in January and I want to read it with everyone else. This has to happen. This is one of my highest priorities, probably my second highest after Into the Dark. This is the sequel to Fourth Wing, the second book in the Empyrean series, and the third and I think final book is coming out in January, like I mentioned. I am nervous about this one because everyone says you're gonna like a character that I hated in the last book, and I don't want to like him. You can call me a lot of things. Stubborn is one of them that would be true. Then I have a couple series that I want to start, hopefully after I read the books that I just told you I wanted to read, so that like it'll balance out. The first one is The Maid by Nita Prose. I got the audiobook for this on Libby, and I don't know that I'll have time to finish it this month. This is the first book in the Molly Maid series, and I started it a while ago. It's a cozy mystery series about a girl named Molly who is a maid at a hotel, and one day she walks into a room and finds an unalived person, and she, I believe, is the primary suspect, so she has to find evidence to prove herself guilty. I've heard amazing things about this series, so I'm really excited to pick this one up, and I love a good cozy mystery series. I feel like winter is the perfect time to start this, so hopefully I'm right. Then I have some poetry because I should have finished this such a long time ago, and that is Save Me an Orange by Haley Grace. This could potentially be done in the month of November if I finally pick it up. Like I said, I'm pre-filming some of this stuff, so I'm not fully sure. Hopefully it's done by then, but it's still on my 10 till the end. Just like fingers crossed, you know? Fingers crossed. Then we have another really tall order that I might have to put off till January, but I really don't want to. When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is the first book in a fantasy series, and let's just check when the second one comes out. The Ballad of Falling Dragons is what the second one's. Oh, I have plenty of time to read this. The second one doesn't come out until October 7th of next year, but I still want to read it this year or early next year. This is the one that, like, it's high priority, but if I'm being so honest with myself, I would be okay if I read it in the month of January. But the second one being called The Ballad of Fallen Dragons, I just finished Game of Thrones, like finished it. I know, I'm so behind. I will be upset, is all I have to say. Then I made you guys a promise months ago and at the beginning of the video. I will finish Butcher and Blackbird by the end of this year by Bran Weaver. This is the first book in the Ruinous Love trilogy. It is a serial unaliver romance between two serial unalivers who fall in love, and I think serial unalive people together, maybe? Dark romance. Then I have another poetry book, Climate by Whitney Hansen. I need to finish this because I read Harmony by Whitney Hansen earlier this year, and it is one of my favorite poetry books I have literally ever read. I need to finish this. This is another one that could potentially be finished in the month of November, but if it's not, she's here. You guys will find out in 2 days whether or not I did it. And lastly, another one that could be finished in the month of November, but I'm currently sitting at 72 books, trying to be realistic with myself. So this is kind of like an end of November, beginning of December TBR situation. The Intern by Michelle Campbell. Given the rate that I'm listening to the audiobook, this is probably going to be an early-ish December finish. I'm hoping not. I hope I wrap her up. Those are my 10 till the end, and I don't really have any other plans for this video. I know that it was definitely a shorter reset, at least in the things that we did. I'm also filming so much content this month that I didn't want to put too much stuff in this and A, make it a really long video for me to edit and maybe not have up in time, and B, I want to save other stuff for other videos. That is it for Bookmas Day 1. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys liked my Christmas sweater. I'm trying to be so festive for you. I love y'all so much. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you're doing well, reading, mentally, and otherwise, especially this time of year. Make sure you take care of yourself. And I really hope to see you all in my next video in 2 days for Bookmas Day 2. So, I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.